Hi everyone, I'm Haleigh. I am a grad student, which means I've been in school for a really, really long time. Uh, so this is my 6th year of being in school after I finished high school. And so I am learning how to be a scientist, or I guess I am already a scientist. Um, but I'm training to be a better one for the rest of my life. And so I'm at North Carolina State University, but I grew up in Virginia like most of you all. And my husband grew up in Floyd County. So I definitely know where you all live.
Hey
I
guys, we
believe,
met through Emory and Henry. So just like yesterday where we met Stephanie, we met through Emory and Henry just like I met Haleigh. Same thing. Okay, sorry.
yes. And so I think you wanted me to share a little bit about what got me interested in science,
Yes.
in being a scientist.
Right.
So when I was your age, I decided I wanted to be a dentist. And so I went to Emory and Henry, and I was like, well, I will be a chemistry major because I like chemistry. And I did a lot of biology. So I took a lot of science classes thinking I needed to do this to become a dentist. And then I realized I really, really, really liked answering the questions about why was someone getting sick, or why did someone have a cavity, or why do only some people get cavities. And I did a few things in research extra from class. So I did a lot of extra experiments, did projects with some of my professors, and realized that I liked being a scientist more than I liked the idea of being a dentist, because I liked to ask questions and find out the answer, and it wasn't always in the textbook. And so I did that in college, and then I went and worked for a few years at Duke University, learning how to make vaccines for people with HIV and the flu. We worked on the flu vaccine too. And so that got me more interested, and I wanted to go back to school and get more training on how to be the best scientist I possibly could be. And so now I study cells in our blood called neutrophils that you all are going to see on your handout. And essentially, they're the coolest little cells ever. They keep us healthy. We need them. And they fight infections like Spider-Man by trapping them. And they also like to eat up the bad bacteria that gets in us. And so that's what I do. I study neutrophils in humans and cows.
And cows?
Yes, in
Interesting.
cows. I hang out with cows at school.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So going back for a hot second. So can you remind us the difference between vaccines and antibiotics? Because we get those confused a lot.
So a vaccine is something you use before you get sick to prevent you from getting sick. So the flu vaccine you'll get every year to keep you from hopefully getting the flu. And it takes about 6 weeks to work in your body and get to protect you. So hopefully, if you've had it and you get exposed to the flu, like someone in your family has the flu and you're around them before you know they have the flu, hopefully it will help protect you and your body from getting sick. And then antibiotics are medications used after you get sick to help you get better when you have like a bacterial infection. So if you cut your finger and you didn't clean it great, or it wasn't easy to clean and it gets all pussy and infected, you can use an antibiotic to make that go away because it'll kill the bacteria.
Okay. So then next question or next thing. So which are we going to have for COVID-19, a vaccine or antibiotic? And this is where they would answer, but you would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So COVID-19 is a virus, and you can't use antibiotics for viruses. You can only use an antibiotic for bacteria. And so COVID-19, the only thing that we could use in the future to protect us right now would be a vaccine. But we don't have one yet because it's new.
Right. Okay. Feel free to tell us all about neutrophils now. And what you want to tell us. I'm really interested in how they work with cows and why cows and humans. But go ahead.
So I work with cows. Well, we'll back up. Neutrophils are excellent. You have to have them. People who are going under cancer treatment and things like that, they don't have them, and that's why they can get sick much easier. And so we also study them, though, because if you have asthma, some of you might have asthma or know someone who has asthma or some other things. Sometimes too many neutrophils is a bad thing. They make us more swollen. They can, like, sometimes they cause a lot of problems, even though they're good. So we only want so many of them. And sometimes adults have sicknesses or kids have sicknesses where they have too many, and they cause more damage than they do help. And so we study how we can get the right balance of neutrophils in our body. And the reason why we study that with cows is sometimes they get salmonella infections, and we can't use them for their dairy or their meat when they're sick. And sometimes it kills baby cows because they get so sick, and it's all due to neutrophils. They have too many. And so that's why I look at cows. We're trying to figure out how to keep them from getting too many neutrophils at a time when they get sick, so that they have just enough to get better, but not too many to stay sick.
So, like, would this be relevant with chickens too then?
You know, I don't know about chickens. I honestly don't know if they have neutrophils. They might, but their blood is a little bit different. But this applies to horses, to dogs, cats have neutrophils too. So those animals for sure. Monkeys, but
so then,
I don't know about chickens.
Next question. So people with leukemia, the reason they have it is because their whole white blood cells have ramped up and is trying to like fight things in their body, and so they just make too many, right? So do they have too many neutrophils, like people with asthma or things like that?
You know, I'm not sure. I don't study a lot of cancer. It's likely they have too many, but it's also likely that the other cells have overtaken the neutrophils. I would suspect there to be more than needed, but once they started treatment, they obviously wouldn't have them.
Right.
So I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, sorry, I keep asking you questions, but I'm not letting you go with your spiel, so you can spiel.
I don't even know what else to spill about.
Okay. Well, so then my question is this. In the infographic, guys, it says that neutrophils are like in pus. So, and she had said that too. So does that mean that when we get all these zits all over our little preteen faces and our adult faces too, that we have neutrophils attacking our, like, and cleaning up our little skin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool deal.
As far as I know, yes, there are neutrophils in the pus and our acne because it's inflamed. It's, you know, a clogged pore or whatever, and it's like a really tiny infection. So they're coming in and help cleaning it out.
So do neutrophil cells work like regular cells? Like, do they have mitochondria in them? Do they have, like, what are they made up of the same things that like regular eukaryotic cells are made up of?
So they have a nucleus and they have little particles in them. I have never, let's see. I believe they do have mitochondria. You know, that's bad. I don't know the basic parts of it. I would assume they we don't really ever look at it, but let me look it up.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because yesterday Stephanie talked to us about cells that she looks at, because she does cancer cells. And then she was talking about how they do respiration. So she kept really focusing on the mitochondria. And so we, as middle schoolers, know a lot about basics of cell, like what are in cells. So that was the reason I was asking. But
yeah,
that's cool though.
they definitely have a nucleus. And when you look at your handout later, the really dark purple, it's like an odd segment. It's not just round like you see in a lot of it. It's very like compressed in odd shapes. Neutrophils are just kind of weird in that regard. So
I think Brody has a question, so I'm gonna let him ask you his question.
Cool.
All right, Brody, you are free to talk.
Are you working on how to figure out to stop the coronavirus?
I'm not. I wish I was, but I'm stuck at home like you all are, not allowed to go to school or to work. But I have been reading a lot about it, and I know some people who are working on it.
Okay, cool. Oops, muted the wrong person. I'm going to unmute all of you now so that if you do have any questions, you can ask her. Hold on, I gotta get to the. Okay, so you're all unmuted now. So if you have any questions, now is the time that you can ask Miss Haleigh, and she will hopefully answer for us.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions?
I don't think so.
What she does is a little bit like more complicated, and it's a little bit harder to grasp and see because the fact that we just barely know about the basics of how cells work, where she goes into like the further like cooler cells, because yeah, we have these cells that make up all of our organ systems and like our body and everything. But these are the cells that are like the tappers. We're gonna go get and make sure everything is cool. But do you have any questions about how, like, where she's currently doing her research at, like where she's currently actually not at Duke right now, I don't think.
No, I'm at NC State.
At NC State, okay.
I found the answer.
Oh, okay.
To your question about what's in the what's in a neutrophil, and I'm ashamed I didn't know that. But a neutrophil does have a nucleus. Like I said, it has a very small nucleolus that goes away as it gets older. And it has a small Golgi apparatus. They have very few mitochondria and ribosomes, and they don't have a rough endoplasmic reticulum. So they're a little different.
So they're a little bit different. So then this is my next question. So we know, as our 7th graders know, that our body is currently always doing mitosis and making cells all the time. Does our body always make neutrophils, or do we only make those during an infection?
Oh, good question.
You have them all the time.
Okay.
You have the bone marrow in your body makes them all the time. So you get them from there. Like neutrophils themselves don't go under mitosis or anything like that. But they're made from the bone marrow. And everyone always has some in their body. When you've been exercising a lot, you get a lot more that are circulating. You don't make more because you exercise, you just have more in your body.
Does that mean that people who exercise are healthier then, potentially, and can fight off infection easier?
You might be able to.
Guys, get outside today. It's warm. You need to get your neutrophils going so you can protect your body, because this is hypothetical science here. See, even the scientists say get outside. All right, sorry. Anyone else have any questions that they want to ask? Okay, this is your chance to get to talk to someone way smarter than me in science. So I just feel like you should use it. But I can always contact her later. But if you'll say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Miss Haleigh. We appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah, and do you mind if Ms. Thomas gives me your contact information? Because next year
This is very helpful. So maybe do this next year when we're in school.
Yes, go for it. I've actually done a lot of science outreach training this year, and I haven't been able to use it because a lot of things got canceled.
Yeah.
So I would love to.
Awesome.
Oh, we have 2 questions actually, apparently. So
Oh,
Brody raised his hand again. So Brody, unmute yourself. And what's your question, dude? Okay, I'm going to unmute you because I can't hear you. There you go.
All right. No, I just raised my hand because I was muted.
Oh, okay. Sage, you have a question? Okay, what's your question, Sage?
So why do you guys like just do humans and cows? And is there something that they have that, like, say for instance, cats or like dogs don't have to do research on?
So you're asking why I just do humans and cows? Why not other animals? So I'm at the vet school, so I could do research on other animals. Currently, the money we have to do our experiments are in my lab are only for cows, horses, and humans. My friend does the work on the horses, but I could definitely do cats and dogs. Cats are a little bit harder to draw blood from because we have to get fresh blood when we do our experiments. So it's, they don't like being held down. So we don't really use cats, but people definitely do dogs, and we could. But humans and horses and cows are a little bit easier to hold down long enough to get some blood.
That's a cool answer.
That's very cool.
All right, does anybody else have any more questions? Okay, I guess not. All right, well, thank you very much, Miss Haleigh, for being here today and
Yes,
being with us.
thank you.
So, thank you.